Hey everyone, just gonna be going over my strategies today. I have a bunch of different strategies. That's the main point of this video. I want to show everyone my different strategies, my trendline bounces, trendline breaks, what my criteria is for entry, exits, and just some tips that I can give to all of you guys. Currently, I use TradeZella for all my programs. Not affiliated by them at all. I just really like them. Very easy to journal your trades, look at playbooks, notebooks, view all your reports, and it's just really cool for me to see all this data. This is just for my week because I'll do a little week breakdown later in a different video, which you should watch on my channel. But I'm just going to go over a few strategies that I do follow. First strategy that I originally started when I first started trading trend lines was Trendline Bounce. This is basically where you are anticipating that price will respect and bounce off the trend line, and I will have to edit that out. Basically, this is a fairly good example. We have a really strong upward trend line here, and bounce. There's this trend line here, 1, 2. If I expected a bounce, I'd put my buy order just right here and my stop loss slightly below, probably around here, so I have some room to ride. And that is a trendline bounce where you're expecting that price will respect the trend lines and stay and bounce and stay on the other side of them. So a few of my entry criteria for this one is price is at TL, so price is at this trend line right here. Weeks worth of data, that's really important because if you are trading on the 1 hour, 4 hour, you need the data and you need the trend line to have significant data backing it for it to be worthwhile. And third is the low risk setup, because if let's say I want to trade a trend line bounce right here and I buy in right here, I'll be risking 2,000 Canadian just to find out if the trade worked. But if I have a buy order right here and my sell right here, it's 315. So that is a big criteria for me. Exit criteria for this, since I'm a trendline trader, I don't close my positions early. I do personally because of emotional vulnerability with being in a position, and I don't want to lose profit. But ideally, you'll wait until this trend line has either been broken again. So if I'd gotten to the trend line bounce here, I would not have closed this position yet because it has not broken this trend line, even though that would not be a much big profit. There's another way to exit this is based on support and resistance. So looking at this, if I entered a bounce right here, I could have exited right here up at this time because this is a support right here and resistance. So I anticipated that price would move between this channel for a little bit, and it did. As we see right here, price very much respected this upward support right here and here. Then when it broke to all-time highs on platinum. And the final condition for this is platinum trending or is the futures trending? As a trendline trader, if price moves sideways, it doesn't help me at all because I trade trends. And if price is just constantly moving sideways, platinum's been fairly nice to me. But if we switch over to oil was in a consolidation phase for weeks right here, and there's not really much you can do. I mean, you can trade it a little bit, but you won't get big breakouts like you did up here. So even here, big consolidation phase for days, and there's nothing really I could do. Like, I just had to wait it out because it's not for me to enter. So that is another thing. Wait for trends. Market has to be trending. Prices have to be moving. Can't be moving sideways, or else you'll just get out for a loss or a break even. That is one of my main strategies. It doesn't work all the time. It's lower risk, but the win rate's significantly less. So I don't trade it as often because I've gotten fairly unlucky with this strategy where I've had my stop loss, price has just hit my stop loss and then rebounded. So I preferably prefer trendline breaks because your risk is greater, so you have more time to actually see if the trade will work out or not. The next strategy, which I absolutely love, it's been the best strategy performer to this date. I've had the most success with this. It's been the easiest to monitor. it's also allowed me to not trade as much as I want to, and that is the 3 touch point break. 3 touch point break for me is just like Tori says, Tori trades, it's like the bread and butter of trading. Honestly, it works very well. You don't trade that often because you're waiting for like the perfect entry. You're not like super fascinated about like getting to the position super late, all that type of stuff. And honestly, it just works really well. Gold is a prime example of this. We have this trend line right here, this one that my cursor just clicked on. We have 1, 2, 3, and then there was a break right here, and this is where I entered the short because it broke support right here and it went to the downside, and we can see it consistently push to the downside to the about 310 area, which is a area of major support as we've had many bounces here. So that is a big trade strategy for me. The entry criteria for this one is very similar to the last one. It has to have at least 3 touch points. It has to be a low risk setup because we'll just go back to gold here. If price broke this trend line and I entered a short because it's a 3 touch point break, my risk has to be all the way up here, which is fairly high. So I probably wouldn't have entered that trade even if it looked amazing and it was an A+ setup. But it's just about waiting for the right entries, waiting for low risk entries, because you don't want to risk your whole capital size. You risk 1 to 2% of your capital each trade, because then you'll have 50 to 100 trades on an account, which is fairly good. And I'm trading live. I'm trading with my own account, my own money. I'm not funded. So to me, that's really important because I can't, if I blow my account, that's all my money, or not all my money, but it's a significant amount of money. And it's really important to just have good risk management and not get into trades that you can't afford to lose. Another criteria is over a week's worth of data. Very important. Exit criteria is the same for this as a trendline bounce. It's support or resistance or safety line crossed. The safety line one is a good one to follow because price can just consistently move in your direction for like weeks at a time, and especially sometimes that does happen. And it's really hard to hold a trade consistently, but if you follow the exit criteria, you'll do very well on that front. And market conditions, price has to be trending. We're trendline traders. That's the biggest thing. On a very similar aspect, the 2 touch point break is very similar to the 3 touch point break, but a little bit riskier because you're going off trend lines that don't really have a lot of data backing it. There's only 2 touch points. So if I go to copper right now, I can draw like so many 2 touch point trend lines here. Like I can draw 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And yes, it does work. Like I can just draw one right here. Like, I mean, actually that was a fairly good trend line. There's probably 3 touch points here. But if I wanted to draw this one, 3 touch points. Okay, never mind. But you get the point. Like this one, like there's 2 touch points. Like there's not really much data backing it, and there's also not a week's worth of data on this trend line. This entry would have been very good because there was over a week's worth of data on this entry. I actually missed this one the other day. There's 9 days on this. I would have entered here, stop loss would have been down here, and I would still be holding all the way up here. I might have exited here because it is support and resistance, so that would have been 1.5% trade, so fairly good. But still, it's the biggest thing is just waiting for the right entries and waiting for it to go well. 2 touch point, very similar, just instead 2 touch points instead of 3, and it works very well. Those are the playbooks that I have. Those are the strategies I have. I know they're very simple, but they work very well. I found that trading trend lines is very easy. It's very comprehensible. But the biggest thing is there's so much emotions about it because you're holding positions for days, maybe weeks at a time, and it's really hard to hold a position when you're sleeping and not be stressing about the trade. Like I've gotten up many times in the night worrying about a trade, and I'll check and I'm like, oh, I got stopped out, or like, oh, like I was up like $500 earlier, but now I'm up $100. What do I do? And honestly, it's really takes a toll mentally, but the biggest thing is just following the strategy and making sure that everything is there based on the strategy, and just waiting for the good entries. That's all I can give you. I have a few other things, like I have copper, silver, gold, platinum. That's oil. That's nothing. It just shows my total stats for the symbol. Like this is my oil for the week. That's like the gain I made for the week on oil, which is okay. It's not much, but I will take it. I was happy with that trade, and I held for 3 hours, which is not as long as I should have held, but still doing fairly well. That's all I have for today. I hope this gives a little bit more insight into my trendline trading strategy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.